The old house stood silhouetted against the bruised twilight sky, a skeletal wreck of Victorian ambition left to rot on a forgotten road. They called it the Whispering House, a name earned through decades of local legends and unsettling tales. For Liam, a paranormal investigator driven by a thirst for the tangible proof of the supernatural, it was more than a legend. It was a challenge. He adjusted the camera strap to his chest, its small red light a lone beacon of modern life in this realm of decay. With a steadying breath, he pushed open the groaning iron gate and walked towards the looming darkness of the front porch, the gravel crunching under his boots like brittle bones. The heavy oak door protested with a long, drawn-out creak as Liam stepped inside, sealing him in a world of dust and silence. It swung shut behind him with a definitive thud that echoed through the cavernous foyer, a sound of finality. His flashlight beam sliced through the thick, stagnant air, revealing the ghosts of opulence. Furniture shrouded in white cloths like forgotten corpses, cobwebs draping from a grand chandelier, and portraits on the wall whose eyes seemed to follow his every move. As he ventured deeper into the ground floor, a faint sound reached his ears. A delicate, indecipherable murmur carried on the still air, like secrets trying to escape the woodwork. Drawn by the spectral whispers, Liam made his way to the grand staircase, its balustrade slick with grime. With each step he ascended, the murmurs intensified, coalescing into what sounded like a woman's soft, sorrowful hum. A sudden, biting cold enveloped him, a stark contrast to the humid air of the house, raising goosebumps on his arms. Shadows danced just at the edge of his vision, flitting away whenever he turned his head. Then, for a fleeting second at the top of the stairs, he saw her, a spectral figure in a tattered white gown, her form translucent, her face a mask of sorrow before she vanished into the gloom. He followed the chill into the master bedroom, a space dominated by a large, four-poster bed draped in decaying lace. The air here was heavy with a palpable sense of tragedy. On a dusty vanity table, his light fell upon an old leather-bound diary. Liam picked it up, the leather cold and brittle beneath his fingers. He opened it, carefully turning the yellowed pages filled with elegant looping script. It was the journal of a woman named Eleonora, detailing a life of isolation that ended in a tragic, lonely death within these very walls. As he read her final, desperate entry, the temperature in the room plummeted. The faint humming crescendoed into audible, heart-wrenching sobs. Liam looked up from the diary to see her standing before him, the ghost of Eleonora, no longer a fleeting glimpse, but a fully formed apparition, weeping silently as small objects around the room began to tremble and float into the air. Pure primal terror seized Liam. He dropped the diary, its pages scattering across the floor, and scrambled out of the room, his only thought to escape. He bolted down the grand staircase, the ghostly weeping following him, and threw himself against the front door. It slammed shut just as he reached it, the resounding boom shaking the entire house. He rattled the knob, but it was useless. Then, as suddenly as it began, the weeping stopped. The oppressive cold vanished, and a profound, unnatural calm settled over him, washing away his fear. He stopped struggling, his breathing evening out. Slowly, he turned back to face the dark interior of the house. A strange, serene smile spread across his lips, an expression not his own. He walked back towards the foyer, and this time, the great oak door swung open for him on its own. The final shot captures his silhouette stepping back into the mansion, before the door clicks shut, plunging everything back into absolute darkness.